So you're going to want to start probably on this side, depending on whether, you know, you're Hector and you're left-handed, or you're Mariana and you're right-handed. Or yeah, so either way, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start from this side of this huge planter box. You got to get down over here. Do not forget this area. It's so easy not to brush this, but you've got to. You got to brush this area over here. Full strokes from the top all the way down. You don't need at all to brush the floor because you've already vacuumed it. If you see dirt down there, you can. It's not an issue. It's just, in general maintenance, vacuuming should be good enough. Start from the top, go all the way down. Make sure to brush the bench, the walls. Because of the faux rock, you want to get up underneath that rock area and brush it really good. This is going to be a very nasty spot for everything to grow in. That faux rock. I'm going to hit it again when I get up and around on that other side. When I get up in there, just brush it. Just do it. Get up there and clean it all out. You can see that clumping that's coming off of it right now. Even after we just got done with all that green and clear. You've got to brush this area. You've got to make sure that this area is completely saturated with fresh flooring. Get all that area cleaned off. You see that water just turning nasty just from brushing that. Faux rock and real granite. It's a bad idea to have it in contact with the water. So if you guys ever do resurface, I would suggest not putting it in. Especially real granite is the worst because you don't know what quarry they got the real granite out of. A lot of the times they're pulling it from a river bottom or up along the side of a river bottom, and it'll have black algae in it and nobody will know. It's been there for thousands of years. So work your way all the way around the pool, get it brushed up. Now, if you're stirring up the water and you're getting it cloudy where you're brushing, that's the best. That's when you know that you're actually doing the brushing properly. You just get in there and just push it all the way down. Start from the top. The other thing I would suggest is when you're on the other side, you're coming up against those water features, you want to be careful of brushing them or even letting the kids hang on them or anybody messing with them, because those things are they're just stuck in there by grout. So if I was to go over there and put enough force down on it, it'll pull it right out of the wall. It's not a handlebar. Don't use it like it is. You want to get the front of the steps too. You're always going to grow mustard algae or green algae on the south side of the pool because that's where the shade's at. It's just like moss in the forest. You're always going to see moss growing on the north side of the tree. So make sure that you get the south side of the pool brushed up really good. Brushing, the two things that happens are you're pushing away any dirt that might have settled on the wall, and you're stirring up fresh circulated water, chlorinated water, into areas that may not normally get chlorine, get sanitized properly. So like before, we're going to get this faux rock, get in here and just brush the heck out of it. Over the years, if you do it right, you're pretty much just going to rub it all away. So it'd be better to have the faux rock needing to be resurfaced and redone than having the pool go green again. How's the heat on the pool?
Good. What's all the white stuff that comes off?
Well, some of that's going to be soda ash, some of that's going to be phosphate. We did just come off of a green and clear, so a lot of stuff has settled on the walls. And like I was telling your sister before, there are some pebbles coming off too. So, you know, it's just kind of a little bit of a gunk and a funk and a little bit of surfacing delaminating. So, you know, over a period of time, with proper maintenance, proper use, you're really going to see that decrease. But like I was saying earlier, if you're brushing it properly, you're going to see that stuff coming off the walls. Especially with an older pool. A newer pool, you wouldn't see this, but you can't do much about it. Now that we've brushed it entirely, we're going to take our net, we're going to come over here. Now you can either do this after you skim or after you brush. Either way, we're going to empty out the skimmer basket. We're going to put this back in. It's good to tap it to get it to break loose and to put stuff back in, but if you hit it too hard, those things are bloody expensive, so you don't want to hit it to a point to where it's going to crack and break. And put the lid back in. We're going to go over the pump. We're going to open it up, and we're going to do the same thing with the skimmer basket. Just turn that off the time clock. Pull that lid open. Pop that out. See, this is the pebble I was talking about. The pebbles are starting to come undone. Just from brushing and vacuuming.
Is that a worm?
Yeah, well that's a little caterpillar right down in there. So no big deal. It's coming off of the palm tree, so you'd be swimming with the caterpillars. But that's your pebble. That's from the age of it. That's from the amount of times this pool has probably been super chlorinated and dealt with repeatedly over and over and over again. So we're going to dump all that out. We'll throw that back in. Like I said before, the notch, you want to make sure that sits properly with the notch. You want to make sure the basket goes all the way down in. You want to make sure that this O-ring here is seated properly, and you want to just keep an eye view on it and make sure that it's lubricated. There's a little bit of lube on it right now. You don't want a whole lot on there, but just enough that it's going to seat well. And this is one of the O-rings that you can lubricate. Get it threaded in there. What I like to do is go backwards sometimes to reverse thread to see where it sits, and then just squeeze it all on. Now, once we're done...
What do you lubricate it with?
Pool lube.
Pool lube.
Pool lube. You can pick it up anywhere. Usually you want a Teflon based. You don't want to go with an oil or a water based.
What about silicone?
Silicone's fine. Teflon's the best. It's hard to find, but it is the best. Always ask them. If they don't know, then don't buy anything they've got. Because if they don't know what you're talking about, then they're probably not professional enough in the industry. But yeah, silicone's good. I use silicone, the Boss silicone. It's a good product. I think it's the 801 or 800 series that they have. But Teflon's the best. I'm always looking for it. Always looking for it. Because it's longer lasting. Now that we're done vacuuming, and this is your skimmer side, and this is your dedicated cleaner line, I'm going to take the off and just open it up all the way so it can have proper flow. Because it just seems right now that if I was to backwash with it in the skimmer line, it wouldn't have enough proper flow, and the motor would be working too hard to pull and prime up properly. So we're going to go from now. It's empty here. We haven't gotten a prime, so it's basically air in here. I'm going to come over here and pull up on the backwash valve. Right now where it's sitting, it's in regular filter mode, so this is where you want it most of the time. But when you backwash it, you want to pull up on it and have that piston all the way up. Now, I'm going to try to work with Sam and Hector on getting a 2-inch line reducer to go in here so that we can get a 90, another elbow, another 90 to jet off. But because it's broken down here, currently the water's just going to be spraying out. We don't normally ever really want this to be happening, but in this situation we're kind of having to work with it. When we backwash it, we're going to turn it on, we're going to blow everything out. Then I'm going to turn it off and put it back in the filter mode and let it run in filter mode for a second or two to change the flow of water inside the filter. We're trying to do that to create enough turbulence to shake off all the compacted DE and dirt. I say it that way because you want DE first and then dirt onto the grid. After that, then we're going to backwash it again. We're going to do this cycle 3 times. Backwash, filter, backwash, filter, backwash, filter. So we're going to start that process. While you're backwashing, you can open up the air release and bleed off all the air that's in there. That'll help it backwash fully, properly. Back in the filter mode. Backwash mode. There's a lot of chunkiness coming out from the DE, so we're still working with a phosphate issue that's still been going on. We want to get as much of the phosphate out. We want to remove the food source that's in the pool for the algae. Even though we've got great chlorine, we've got to get that food source out so that the chlorine's going to have an easier time killing everything, and it doesn't have a repeat bloom, I guess, of the algae. I have no idea if you can hear anything I'm saying because of the sound of this motor. Alright, that looks pretty good. We're going to put new DE in there here in a second. I got to run out to my truck and grab it, so Sam's probably going to turn off his phone. I'll see you in a second.